Hello, Carol Lucio with Ohio SAD, your Junior Achievement Volunteer. In the first few sessions we came together, we talked about the 4 C's: creativity, critical thinking, communication, and my favorite, collaboration. Now, this is session 4. We're going to talk about soft skills. Anybody know when I say soft skills, what that might mean? So, you might think of hard skills, like how you can actually do something. But soft skills is how you can interact with other people, and those are your transferable skills. So your soft skills are your personal attributes and behaviors that are not necessarily tied to a specific job, as opposed to the hard skills, or sometimes called technical skills, are those things that you are trained to do that are specific to a job. So we're going to talk about these soft skills as it relates to interviews today. So I want to have the teachers hand out to everybody these sheets with the soft skills assessment. So what we're going to start with is having everybody just do a little personal time assessment on your personal soft skills. So teachers, if you would, pause me and hand out these soft skills assessments. Okay, so real quick, everybody's going through this. You're gonna go look at each of these 10 items and decide, is this a soft skill? Is this a strength of mine I already do pretty well? Put an X or a check mark in the box there. Is it something that's kind of a weakness? I don't even like to say a weakness, an area of opportunity. And I need to work on it, check it here. I need to learn more about this, that's the 3rd column, and then the last column here, pick one of these 10 and give an example. If this is a skill that you're really strong in, I'd like you to give one example out of these 10 here and write it down. And then finish number 11 and 12 at the bottom. So everybody, please do that. And teachers, go ahead and share a few of these before we move on with the video. Okay, so now we're back. Everybody have a chance to assess your soft skills. I hope you found some things that you are already good at, and maybe some things, some areas of opportunity for growth. We all have those, by the way. I'm not in this far left column on all of these myself. I'm still working on some myself. All right, so what we're going to do for our activity for today is we're gonna do some interview practice. So I'm gonna start out. Now, this is difficult in this environment, but if I came in, maybe, So if I came into an interview and I were, I don't know, like this, or I came in like this, or I always look down and never look up. Remember from communication, eye contact, how important that is, right? Those are things that speak to a potential employer that you don't want to be doing in an interview. So some key things you want to do: make sure that you're dressed properly, some good khakis or nice slacks, a clean shirt, make sure your hair's brushed, your hands are clean, make sure you give a good firm handshake. That's something that I do when we're in person. We practice the dead fish handshake. Don't just hand your hand out like that. Give a good firm palm to palm. That's hard to do. Me to me, right? Don't linger. Don't crank their arm like you're trying to pump water. Just a good couple of pumps, firm handshake, palm to palm. And don't give them a dead fish. It's especially true of you ladies. Don't do that. All right, so everybody now, for our activity, you're gonna break into teams of 3 or 4, and we're gonna practice some interviews. So you're coming in, each one of you will take turns as the interviewee, the interviewer, and one or two observers, how that interview goes. So teachers give everybody a bookmark. You can go ahead and pause me now. All right, so everybody has a bookmark. Here are things that you can do to demonstrate your soft skills in interviews. When the interviewer asks you a question, repeat the interview question to yourself. Make sure you know what's being asked. If you don't understand the question, ask them to clarify it. Point number 2, pause to formulate your answer. You don't have to immediately respond. Stop, think about it, maybe turn your head, and then give your answer. And then the third point, include a brief example. You don't want to just say yes or no. The interviewer asked you, do you demonstrate leadership skills in your current job? Yes. Not enough information. You want to give them an example. Yes, actually, I help to coordinate training for new hires so that they would be better equipped to be more productive more quickly. Might be a good example. But keep in mind that in your brief example, you want to be brief but with details, that it's applicable to the job, that it's recent, it's true, it's believable, and it's clear and answers their question. So, down at the bottom for you when you're the interviewer, these are some questions that you can ask. Observers, observe. When the interviewer and interviewee come in to greet each other, how do they greet each other? Do they stand up? Do they give a proper handshake? I want you to practice that, even in this environment. Come in, greet each other, give a handshake, sit down, do your interview. Observers, how well do they do these things? Do they pause? Do they give a brief example? And interviewers, here are your questions. All right, so that's your activity. Go ahead and get started. Teachers, you can pause me now. Okay, so you've done your practice interviews. I'm sure that felt a little strange in this classroom environment, but having the opportunity to practice some of these examples, even if you've never had a job, you can give examples on teams at school or groups at school, or even from your own family that might apply to things like, do you have a strong work ethic? Give a personal example, even if you've never had your own job. So practicing these things, even beyond here, is good. Take this home. Practice with a parent or a sibling or a friend so that next time you go in for a job, you are prepared to give an answer to these questions. So before an interview, it's super important to prepare, like we've practiced here. Make sure you are dressed properly and all cleaned up, and go prepared for the job. So that's our soft skills for today. Next time, we're going to talk about knowing your work priorities.